Hello, this is Jeb Hamwerger from goldstocktrades.com. I wanted to give a brief update today at the close. The market's already closed June 16th. Um, Important technical day. We saw gold break through 1300. We saw equities break down earlier today after the Fed decided not to raise interest rates and fears on Great Britain exiting the EU, otherwise known as the Brexit. Um, you have to be careful of what you see in the media, and let's look at what's going on in the charts. Um, as you can see, we bounced off the 50-day moving average, and we broke into new highs today. But we did see some profit taking, some normal profit taking, and we're moving up. And if you notice, it was on lower volume than yesterday's uptrend. The GDXJ did not close below yesterday's level, so the trend is okay in the GDXJ. Although, if we take a look at GLD here, we do see major selling today, profit taking, and a bearish outside reversal. So this may indicate that we may be another few weeks to work off this level. And we may go through a summer correction or basing period near term, or a pause in the current rally. This initial breakout followed by a reversal should just be a signal to be a little more cautious, and that the rally in gold may continue to base. Otherwise, we will closely, it could be a short term. We don't know how long this will last, but usually when you see a breakout like this into new highs on high volume and then closing at the low, indicates that we have some serious profit taking going on, and to urge caution over the next few weeks, or until we start seeing some bullish signals. But this, despite all the gold bullish articles we're seeing all over the media now, a few months ago you would never see that in 2015. Now we're seeing it all over the place, but technically, just to be a little cautious when you see a breakout like this followed by a reversal. I don't know exactly what happened today, but silver too. If you take a look at silver, it was on the verge of a major breakout too at 17. And it looked like all day that it was going, and then we see an outside reversal, bearish reversal in huge volume. So gold and silver were just about to break out, and boom, once again, we see a huge volume sell-off. So it's that it appears that the sellers have won today, and it may signal some caution ahead, because we haven't had one of those bearish outside reversals near near highs since back in March, and that was a few weeks of correcting. So we may have a few more weeks before we start getting some bullish signals. But high volume bearish reversal near breakout definitely signals caution over the next few weeks. So looking at the S&P 500 today, we see a bullish reversal on the equities on the first good volume accumulation in many months. So this is signaling that equities are beginning to get a bid, and that precious metals again are approaching a resistance area, which I thought was going to be a breakout, but there is still a lot of selling and profit taking that we're going to have to overcome. And there appears to be an effort for investors to keep the stock market accumulation in the stock market. And so, be careful of what you're hearing about Brexit. Today, the chart appears to be bullish on equities, um, and we see a bullish reversal here in the S&P. And if we look at the Dow, um, we're also seeing a bullish reversal on good volume. So, so we're seeing some bullishness in the equities today, um, and some profit taking in precious metals. We'll see how long that goes on. Looking at a few other markets that we follow, lithium sector still in a clear uptrend. This is a global X lithium ETF. Chart looks very strong. Huge accumulation recently. One of our favorites is Lithium Americas, which we've been a long-term shareholder when it was before it was called Western Lithium. Now it's called Lithium Americas. And we see a beautiful uptrend here. And pull back to the 50-day moving average, and it looks like the volume's dried up, and it looks like there could be a bounce off that 50-day like we saw with the GDXJ. But again, even back here when it broke out into new highs, we saw a few profit taking outside reversals, lasted 2-3 weeks. So this should be similar with gold and silver. We'll see how important today's technical bearish reversal is. But the lithium sector still remains in a powerful uptrend. Stick to the winners that have those partners like Lithium Americas, that just recently partnered up with SQM, which is the largest producer of lithium in the world, lowest cost producer. This could be the next major lithium brine asset coming into production when lithium is needed most. Price has been skyrocketing. It's hard to keep up with demand, and companies like Lithium Americas, which is probably one of the top projects on the North American exchanges, on the Canadian and U.S. exchange, LAC on the Toronto, and LACDF on the OTC, the Cachori project in Argentina, definitely one of the top tier projects, and it's got the partnership with SQM. It seems like in a powerful uptrend, and I think it could go above $1. But remember, I'm biased. I own shares in my account and my personal account, and the company is a website sponsor. It has been for a while, and before as Western Lithium, and as a current sponsor as Lithium Americas. But I definitely do think it's one of the best of the breed in the lithium sector. And you got to be careful, because it seems like every day I'm hearing new companies popping up that are going into the lithium space, but it's going to take a while for them to ever get near production. And the companies that are the advanced stage near-term producers, that are at least working on some sort of economics, that have a resource, those should be the most important part of the lithium portfolio. If you want to look for some speculative positions where there could be a new discovery or grassroots, it should be a small portion of your portfolio. And investing in juniors is risky. We have to remember we're in the junior mining sector, which has its risks, especially at the advanced stage when you're at the permitting stage. Sabina, which I'm not a shareholder of, just announced that the project was recommended in Nunavut not to proceed to the licensing and permitting stage because of issues with respect to the caribou and climate change up in northern Canada. So this was one of the darlings of the sector, and boom, you see a breakdown on record volume after this news, and it's going to be difficult and take a long time for the company to have to review this and to recommend changes. This is years worth of work, and it's going to take us a long amount of time to review the report and to address this. So this is going to push off the timeline, but that's going to bring a lot of interest to other junior miners that we're following that are at the advanced stage, near-term producers in Canada, um, and this capital will probably flow, that we see close to 10 million shares that were traded today, into other advanced junior Canadian gold miners. And the Sabina case brings to example the importance of climate change and what's happening in northern Canada. And these are becoming major issues, and that's why we're seeing such an increase of interest in clean energy and renewables and carbon-free emissions, and the lithium and uranium and the clean energy metals that are crucial for renewables. One story that I've recently been highlighting and that I've recently invested in, and the company came on as a website sponsor, is K92 Mining, KNT, and they just came public in late May. And as you can see, that they came public, and there's been a lot of excitement. It went up since it started pulling back, but there's a lot of excitement in this story because they got a previous existing mine from Barrick at the bottom of the market, and its management team on K92 is very well known, with Tukey Angus as chairman, who's chairman of Nevsun, Ian Stalker, CEO, and a very well-known management team that has had built over 20 mines and is known for buyouts in previous cycles. Very well-known management team that got an existing mine from Barrick, and the project, the Kanaitu gold mine, it's in Papua New Guinea. They just renewed the mining leases and the permits for 10 years on February 16th, 2015. They have an environmental permit that's valid for 40 years remaining. They have a 43101 report with over 1.8 million ounces of gold at 11.6 grams per ton, high grade, and they may be able to get into production in minimal time. There's minimal capex that is required since there's all this existing infrastructure. So keep a close eye on K92 Mining, KNT, on TSX Venture. They were able to get this project from Barrick in the lows of the bear market, and now it's a new company, new issue, with a project that's going to be a near-term high-grade producer. And one of the things that's most interesting is, if you read the presentation, Alex Davidson, who's an advisor for K92 and was the former VP of Barrick, said, I think the K92 project is one of the most prospective in Papua New Guinea. The strength of the structures and veins are most impressive, and they contain significant high-grade gold. So keep an eye on this one. CEO sold Uramin in 2005. In 2007 to Arriva. Very exciting story. That's all for today. All the best.